Hello horse friends, and welcome back to the Imperfect Question. Today we're going to be doing something fun for Halloween, so let's see what we're doing.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you.
So what I'm hoping to do today is to trim a fun design into JJ's mane. If you go back through some of my old videos, especially the shorts, you'll find that I've been a big fan of doing lots of different fun designs in the past. And last year for Halloween, I did a scene on the mane. So what I did was a cat and a pumpkin and a bat. So we'll have a quick look at what that looked like last year. As you can see, we had quite a bit of fun with that, and I put that onto social media, Facebook, and especially the Fjord hair care pages, and a lot of people really liked the idea of the bat, and they took the idea and really improved on it and made a better design than I had done. So what I'm going to do is do a slightly different bat design this year based off the ones that I saw different people do last year. They basically simplified the design that I did, and it looked far more effective. So we're going to have a go at that with JJ's mane this year. So just before we get started, we're going to remind ourselves what's so special about Fjord mane. You can see that there's white hair on the outside and black hair in the middle, and on the other side we've got white hair again. So because of that, we can take parts of the white mane, remove it, and create patterns in the middle. And she's got quite a fine mane, as you can see there, but some Fjords have really thick manes to deal with. So as always, the first thing I need to do is to brush her mane. So just get my brush, got lots of bent pins on it, as you can see, and that grips in nicely all the way through the mane. Doesn't really matter too much which direction I pull it in at the moment. That's it. And I'll need to go do that on the other side as well. Then once the mane's brushed, I take my wide comb and do best I can to comb through the mane, make sure it's all got no knots in and it's all travelling in the same direction. So at the minute you can see that you can see some of the black through the white because she hasn't got very thick white section, but honest, that won't make no difference. Once we start clearing very solid black sections, it'll be quite easy to see where the pattern should be. I'm thinking I want to put it somewhere in the middle here. Yeah, we'll just work through the design, finding the point where I want to make the middle. And I'm going to start by doing the tail and some of the body of the bat here. So I come in from the top and I want a nice pointy tail. So I'm just removing just the white section best I can. Some good angles here. Quite steep. A nice pointy bit at the bottom. She's going to move around a bit, there's not much I can do about that, so just try and either not snip when she's moving or bear with her. Comanche, you're not helping. Trying to make those lines as crisp as I can. Pulling it up each time with the comb just to check. Don't want to cut too deep because you don't want to cut through the black if it's quite skinny like JJ's is. Okay, so I'm happy with that so far. Now my head section is going to be up here, so I need to think about the body shape, and the wings need to come out. So if we're thinking about wings coming out, we've probably got about this much to play with the head. I'm thinking wings down here maybe, and a bit of a rise there. I can't shape anything outwards because if I cut out, I'm going to lose the hair above it. So the head section needs to come straight up and down. So what I'll do for that is we'll clear off a little triangle section down towards where I think the head needs to be. And I can take that all the way through. It doesn't have to be that tidy yet, we can sort it out after. And same again on the other side. Similar kind of distance. So when I'm saying that, I'm thinking about where the point of the tail is. We want to keep that as central to the head if possible. Good girl, JJ. So again, trimming down. There we go. So you can see a bit of shape coming in there slightly now. So one that is clear as possible through either side. Not too worried about the wing angles yet, just needed to define where the head is. And do I think it's far enough down? I could take it down more if I want, but I think that's about right for now. So in with that, what I want to do is put in some little ear shapes and the top of the head. So let's just tiny little triangles for the ears. Either side. And a little flat bit for the top of the head. There we go, something like that. We can probably define the ears a bit more. There we go, that's not too bad. You can see it coming in a little bit now, okay? So I think for the wings, it's going to be easiest. Ooh, what should we do first? The top of the wing or the bottom? I think we'll go for the top of the wing next. So I'm going to want it to come across. I can choose to either have it level with the top of the head or a bit lower. I'm not sure yet, we're going to have to play around. But I definitely want a bit more wing spread than what we've created. So just the white for a minute, just to have a look. I think that's going to be about the right angle, possibly. Okay, so let's dig in. All the way through, being brave. There we go. Okay, I can tidy up from the other side again in a minute, so not too worried about that. Try and replicate a similar angle on the other side. Oh, Daisy's going to move. Good girl. There. Trying to match up the angle best I can. Going down towards that neckline that we've already created. There we go. I'm seeing that's probably a little bit hard for you to see at the minute, so we're probably best putting this lower wing shape. So I'm probably going to aim for a bit higher than the tail and come across in an arch. And again, we can change the size slightly after if we don't quite like it. Oh, she's moving around a little bit, so there we go. Make sure I get all the white so the black's really clear. Now we've got some black shapes coming in. You can see a bit easier what I said, that even though you can see the black through there, there's a very distinctive difference between this section and the white section. So I'll try and replicate that on the other side. Like a curve, coming down into a point. There we go. Clean it up a bit. I think it needs to go a little bit further across. So just snipping just the white off, cleaning up any areas as we go. Give it a good brush. Can you see it coming in a bit more now? Can you see we're getting to a bit more of a bat shape? Now what we're looking for is these top wings to come down and then join up with these. So I think we're going to have to put this top shape in again next. That seems a good length to me. And perhaps the same on the other side. Again, trying to get the angle right. Most of it's freehanding. And I usually find it gives a cleaner line to trim always down rather than coming up, although technically you can do either way just fine. Right, so I think it needs a bit more stretch. Hold on. I'm trying to envisage now the back swing being full. Is it going to look about the same both sides? Let's perhaps use the scissor to measure a bit. Could do with being a tiny bit longer on the other side. There we go. Right, so now I'm looking to join up from this point up to the top of the wing over there, and again I want to try and make a nice little curve rather than going straight across if I can. Depends on how JJ feels. She's been pretty good today. Sometimes she moves around a lot. I have to just go with her. There we are. So you see I put the shaping coming up, but you see it's not clean. So now we've got a rough line. I'll need to come down to try and make that line cleaner. I can see the bats now coming in. Same on the other side. Going to try and match up with our point. We might even need to bring that wing down a little bit if we look at the head shape there, but we'll take it across and have a look. Again, I'm just travelling up, put it in here. Steady, JJ, good girl. So not too sharp with my curve. She's just having a little itch on the wall, so there we go. I can see that's going to end up a bit too long, I think, if I keep going on that curve. So what we'll do is we'll alter that wing maybe a little bit more. So I think happy with that. Clean it up a bit more so I can see easier. And then I really want that to come down and match in with that more. So we're going to get rid of that bit there. Looking at it, trying to match up the shape a bit. That points nicely above there, but it's a little bit rounded that side. I think I'd rather have it more pointy. It does get a bit thicker there, so that is affecting the shape slightly. Cut through at that point. I think we can afford to take a wee bit more off there. And bring it a little bit shallower. Let's have a look. That's not too bad. Not too bad. I definitely prefer the shape of this wing to the other one. But let's see. Continue around a bit more maybe. Go. So just need to be a bit braver and go a bit further. There we are, that's getting a bit better. There we go, so we can see the bat much better now. Perhaps tidy up his ears from this side a little bit more. Careful, else I might trim them off a bit too much on the other side. We'll go clean up the other side in a bit. Give it a good comb through, see what bits come out. Try and clean up these pieces. There we go. So We could just leave her mane like that now with the bat in, or we could trim the crest to be down level with the wings. But I think what we will do is we're going to trim the crest in the white and leave a little bit of black above, and sometimes it's going to help. Let's just trim the crest in the white first, going to be best, and then I might put a little gap to differentiate between the bat and the edges. So just like a normal crest, but I'm taking it from the tip of the wing, trying to look where I'm going over here. Now she gets very thin hair down here, so I just have to be quite careful not to chop all the way through. Best I can. Gets a little bit more mottled nearer the smaller part down there. Funny because I always get comments about how much my hands are shaking, but that's just me naturally, and it is actually my profession to trim hair on animals, so just how it is. Kind of remind me of the guy on Toy Story who fixes the dolls, and he's all shaky until he gets going, and then he can do a good job. Okay. So you can see it gets a little bit more mottled, black and white near the bottom, but that's okay. The idea is that you can see the general shape of it going down. Lots of ginger hair going on there. There we are. Give it a comb, have a look, and I think the shape seems to look okay. So I'm going to put a little gap line between the end of the bat. Let's just sharpen his wings off a little bit. And where we're going to start, just really define between the two. There we go, cut that all the way through. And with our top crest, I'm just going to edge that. It's not far off the right length, but I just want a nice little crest on top as an outline. It's not been too long since her mane's been trimmed, and we probably won't have the Halloween in one too long. I might clip it down. Maybe I'll clip it down after Halloween and try and grow it in for something for Christmas. We'll see. I'm just judging how long do I want this. Not very long, I don't think. If I need to go along on the white again and redefine some areas, we can do. There we are, but you're getting the idea now. So I'm going to come to the front part, trimming crest on the front part. So let's see, I want it to end up here at the wing. And again, we might need to just sharpen that up first. Oh, she's got her head a little bit high. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. And we can kind of see where that white section's going, and there's not too much there, so I'm literally just going to come through and try and make a nice crest shape to there. Okay, let's have a look how that's going. Oh, this hair, make sure we brush these stuff after, because else it gets itchy for them. Bit thicker at the front, so you can see I've got a little bit more hair to take off in this front section. With JJ, her best shapes are always at the front of her mane or in the middle. Usually the shapes that come down the bottom of the mane are not very well defined because there's not much thickness of hair there. So you need to see what's going up in the top bit to know what's going on if I do shapes down the bottom. Okay, so we're getting to more or less just black now. There we go. You can see some strands coming through, but that's not too important. We can snippety snip them off as we go. Okay. And again, I want to take this black section and make it something similar to the back. I'm going to put that gap in around there somewhere, a little bit more. Defining edge. We can always make that bigger after if we want to. And I'm going to tidy up the other side in a minute, so that'll help. But I think that's a little bit flat really for a crest shape, to be honest. I might take it down a little bit more. Doesn't need to be perfect though, we're just making a pretty shape. Okay, so similar height going on there and cut through. Again, it's quite thick here, so I might need to do this in sections. Okay, good girl. There we go. Okay, so let's stand back and have a look at that. I don't think that's too bad. It's a little bit higher on the black at the front, so maybe we should take that down a little bit more. Give her a comb, take off all those loose bits so they're not too itchy for her. Right, so stand back again, have a look, and I think in general I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll need to go around the other side and shape it on the other side as well, so we can see it both sides. So I've just moved our location a little bit so you can see in the sunshine. It was too shadowy on the other side for you to see properly, and I'll get this finished. So there we have it. The bat is now on both sides. Certainly not perfect by any means, but it doesn't need to be for a fun shape like this. It's just more about the impression of it. And as long as you can tell what it is, which you can, then I think that's good enough. What do you reckon, JJ? Are you ready for Halloween? So I really hope you enjoyed joining us today for JJ's mane trim, getting her ready for Halloween. I know I certainly enjoyed it. I really like to do different shapes on JJ's mane and have a bit of fun with that. So let me know if there's any particular shapes that you'd like to see us try in the future. And leave me some comments below, like and share, and we'll see you next time. Bye.